What we're doing today, we had one of our growers who, is taking a big hit. They've already had 50% of their acres cut. They still have a lot of potatoes in storage that they have no home for. So financially they're hurting, but yet they also realize there's so many other people hurting in the state. And so they opened up their heart and they gave us actually 60,000 pounds of potatoes that we're distributing here in Moses Lake today. And I just can't believe the amount of cars. I mean, it is a line of, man, I don't know, it looks like a half mile long, and it's been like that all day so far, of people needing food, and we're happy to give it. So we're gonna try to feed as many people as we can, and we hope the USDA again can step in and buy up even more potatoes so that we can do more and more of these types of events to all those people who've been laid off.
I actually work at a potato plant. I work at Basic American Feeds. We do granules, so mashed potatoes, and then it's also a bean plant. Right now, I am unemployed, laid off.
So I'm Marvin Wallman, and potato grower here in Washington, Moses Lake area. We brought these potatoes in to donate, mostly due to the storages are all full, don't have a place to go with them, trying to figure out how we could best use them. Instead of digging a hole and burying them, which we think is not very useful. People are hungry, need to eat, need some food, and we thought that it'd be a good idea to go donate.
So what we have at risk is roughly, 1 billion pounds of potatoes is actually worth about $100 million. So we have at least $100 million out there at risk that farmers aren't going to get paid for, and it could be even more than that. This is really devastating for a lot of farmers. So we hope that, again, we can get restaurants opening back up again, get our economy going, get our exports going again to our international markets, that we can avoid some of this devastation in the farm and rural communities.
So this right here is a storage for one of the farmers' potatoes. We've got 36 million pounds on each side here of potatoes. This is 20 feet deep all the way back there of potatoes. But this is 36 million pounds. Right now, the Potato Commission is worried about 1 billion pounds. So this just shows you how many potatoes are out there. We've got a lot of potatoes that are at risk of not being used. And even the ones that are contracted out, there's concern that those even won't be used.
We can grow more potatoes on an acre of ground here in Washington than anywhere else in the world. And so it's a mecca for potato processors here who make products like frozen French fries, hash browns, tater tots. Well, about 90% of the potatoes that we grow are sold to food service and restaurants, things like French fries, things like big baked potatoes. Well, when we close all of the restaurants, it has a devastating blow to our sales. We've essentially lost 90% of our market, and it's been a real struggle for our growers. Well, the problem is, with the big loss of demand, 90% of our business, those 3 billion pounds of potatoes are just sitting there. We're not being able to sell them like we normally do. And so there's a good chance come July 4th, we're still gonna have at least 1 billion, if not closer to 2 billion pounds of potatoes still that haven't been used from the last crop that was harvested back in October and stored. So it's created a huge situation and an issue for us. Our growers' livelihoods depend on selling those potatoes. They still have to pay off the loan that they took to grow those potatoes. And if they can't sell them, it puts them on the brink of financial collapse. And so we're really worried about that. We're asking the USDA to step in to actually purchase as many of the potatoes as they can and get them out to the needy. Our 250 potato growers that we have in Washington State are actually responsible for about 36,000 jobs and over $7.5 billion in economic activity just coming from potatoes in Washington State.